The sound of a snare drum is unmistakable, a sharp rattle with a somewhat tinny resonance. What produces this distinctive sound? It's a vibrating set of wires, called the snare wire, stretched across the bottom of the drum. The snare drum is usually the center of the drum kit. The circular frame of a snare drum, called the shell, can be made of either wood or metal. Metal shells produce a sharp, loud, and more brilliant sound. The metal this German drum company uses is known as bell bronze, which is approximately 78% copper and 22% tin. Workers first glue together a 3-part mold. It's made of a sand and chemical mixture because sand can withstand the temperature of the hot molten metal. The glue sets in about half an hour and the mold is ready. They steady it with heavy steel plates, then scoop a bucket full of bell bronze from the furnace and pour it in. It took 4 hours at 1260 degrees Celsius to melt the metal, but just a few seconds for it to solidify inside the mold cavity. They let the casting cool for a couple of hours, then break the sand mold to extract it. They clean off the loose sand with a wire brush, then ship the shell to the drum factory, where its first stop is onto an automated lathe. As the lathe spins, a cutter skims off a thin layer of metal, making the shell's exterior surface clean and smooth. Next, a computer-guided drilling machine bores 47 holes for various components, including fittings that hold and adjust the drum heads and a vent hole which increases the drum's volume. Then the machine changes the drilling tool for a milling tool and makes 2 recessed areas, called snare beds, in the shell's bottom edge. The drill left rough edges, so they clean and smooth the holes with a small grinding tool. Then they manually sand the snare beds. Next, they sand the shell's outside surface, first with a rough abrasive belt, then with a fine one. This leaves the metal shiny and silky smooth. Now they sand the inside surface by hand. They spray it with a bronze-colored lacquer to give the metal an even color and prevent tarnishing. They taped over the holes to keep the colored lacquer from hitting the outside surface. Now they remove the tape and spray the outside with transparent lacquer, which allows the natural color of the metal to show through. 25 minutes in an oven hardens the lacquer into a super durable finish. Then final assembly begins, starting with the tension lugs, the fittings which hold and adjust the tension of the drum heads. Next comes the action strainer, the mechanism the drummer flips up or down to activate and deactivate the snare sound. The top drum head is made of a strong polyester material. A chrome-plated metal hoop will hold the head to the shell. To tune the drum to a higher or lower pitch, the drummer tightens or loosens the screws to increase or decrease tension. Drum head tension determines pitch. The bottom drum head is made of clear polyester film. It's much thinner than the top drum head to enable the snare wire to respond faster. That snare wire is made of multiple strands of stainless steel, brass, or copper wire. They stretch it across the bottom head, laying each end on a snare bed. They attach the ends with nylon cords to the action strainer on one side and to a part called the butt end on the other. To play the drum with a snare sound, the drummer simply pulls up on the action strainer's handle. Every drum undergoes a final inspection, then tuning and a thorough performance test. Talk about ending with a bang.